Chris here from IELTSadvantage.com. Hope that you're doing well, and in today's lesson we're going to look at Task 2 structures. So Task 2 structures are very popular. A lot of students ask for them and they are useful. So especially for someone who maybe isn't used to writing essays, they can be a very useful tool. However, like many things in the IELTS test, things that are useful can also actually lower your score if you use them incorrectly or you have the wrong mindset about them. So for me, structures do actually lower scores more than they help scores. They do help scores if used correctly and people have the right attitude about them, but they can obviously lower scores as well. Same with something like idioms, for example. If you use idioms appropriately and accurately in your speaking test, they can help improve your score. However, if you use them inappropriately and inaccurately, they will lower your score. So you need to be very careful. So we're going to look at briefly a Task 2 structure for an agree or disagree essay, and then we're going to look at the 4 main reasons why structures for Task 2 lower your score. So you need to be very careful with these, and what we'll do is we'll look at each of these 4 things and show you how you can avoid these pitfalls. So help you out, help you avoid using structures in the wrong way. Okay, so this is a basic structure for a Task 2 agree or disagree essay. So we have 2 main body paragraphs, an introduction and a conclusion. So 4 paragraphs, and then we tell you very basically what to put in them. And students love these. Students love these because it helps them create an essay without thinking too much about what to put in it. But as I said, there are big dangers with these structures. So the first one is they ignore most of the things that actually contribute to a high score. One of the most annoying emails that we get from students is when they use our structures, so not VIP members because they know better than this and we teach them how to use them, but maybe a student who just went onto our website, saw a basic structure, used it in their test, and they said, I used your structure and I failed my test, it's your fault. And we just reply, yes, of course you failed, because structures do not lead to higher scores. What leads to higher scores is these 4 marking criteria: task response, coherence and cohesion, grammar and vocabulary. So this one's 25% of your total mark, 25% of your total mark, 25%, 25%. So as you can see, structures are not going to really help you with the most important parts of your essay. So task response is basically, did you answer the question correctly? So things like thinking or understanding the question. Structure doesn't help you understand the question. Thinking of relevant ideas doesn't help you with that. Developing your main ideas doesn't help you think of good explanations and examples. Just doesn't help you with that. Same with grammar and vocabulary, 50% of your total mark. Structure has nothing to do with grammar and vocabulary. Doesn't matter if you have the best structure in the world, you're never going to get, say, a 7 or above if your grammar and your vocabulary is not at a 7 or above. Coherence and cohesion, it does help in this area, but most of coherence and cohesion is unrelated to structure, and a structure is not going to automatically mean that you get a high score here. You'll hear lots of teachers and lots of schools and review centers talking about use our band 9 structures. They don't exist, all right? So there's no structure that's going to take a student from a band 5 or a band 6 automatically to a band 7, 8 or 9, because it does not take into account these things. So to avoid this, you need to understand what the examiners are actually looking at, and if you understand and you know what the examiners are looking for, then you can give it to them. Structure is a very small part of that. So do not think that they are some sort of magic solution to your problems. They are not, all right? So be very careful with that. Also, and this is a huge problem, they create a lot of confusion. So we will get messages and emails all the time saying, my teacher says to use this structure and another teacher says to use this structure and you say to use a different one. Who is correct? So this is faulty thinking Because it's a natural human way of thinking to think one thing is good, one thing is bad. You know, good versus evil. Probably the reason why most superhero movies are very, you know, basically good versus evil. It's the way our brains think. Often our brains will think one thing is good, one thing is bad. Exactly the same the way most students think about structures. One has to be correct and everything else is bad. That's the wrong way to think about it. A better way to think about it is many of them are correct and many of them are wrong. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. More than one way to skin a cat means that there's more than one way of doing things. I could go into the test and use 3 different structures to answer this question and get a band 9. I could also use 3 different structures and get a much lower score. The key is that there's no such thing as a band 9 structure. There's no such thing as a structure that's going to guarantee you a high score. But the biggest problem with this one is it creates a huge amount of confusion, because students are looking at maybe 14 different ways to write one essay, and that's going to create a lot of confusion, a lot of doubt, a lot of uncertainty. And those are things that you do not want when you open up your test paper on test day. On test day, you want to be absolutely clear on what to do, because your writing is a reflection of your thinking. So if you open up the paper and you're about to write your introduction and you're like, oh, well, IELTS so-and-so says to do this, and IELTS so-and-so says to do this, and there's 14 different ways to write an introduction in your head, then you're going to be very confused, you're going to waste time, and you're probably going to get a lower score because your writing is a reflection of your very confused thinking. So my advice for this one is, doesn't have to be me, can be somebody else or another school or another teacher. I don't care if you follow me or somebody else. But what I do care is that you follow one good way of doing it. So find someone that you trust and follow their way of structuring an essay. Do not look at 7 different types of structure for one different question. The key is to find someone you trust. So base that on results. Do they get results for their students? Or talk to a friend or someone you know who has done the test before, and someone who has been successful. Success leaves clues, as they say. Also, third thing, they do not teach you how to write. All right. So imagine you have a map of New York. So you're going to New York as a tourist, you're going to visit New York, and they give you a map. Now a map is a very, very useful thing to have if you're a tourist. Just like a structure is a very useful thing. But a map of New York is not going to tell you about the culture of that city, what that city is like, what their people are like, where to eat, the attractions. Not going to give you any information about that. Same with structures. It's not like you're going to look at a structure and immediately go from someone who's not very good at writing to someone who is very good at writing, because structures do not give you a deep understanding of what to do. So they tell you what to do, but paraphrasing, do you know how to paraphrase effectively? Topic sentences, do you know what they are? Explanations, do you know how to clearly explain your main points? Examples, do you know how to include effective examples to support your main point? Do you know actually how to summarize your main ideas and give your opinion? You probably don't if you're just relying on structures. That's why a lot of our students who do mini courses with us, free little mini courses that we do sometimes, those students will ask us just give us loads of structures. Just give us, a structure for all the different types of essay, and then I'll be finished. I can move on. And we refuse to do that because it will lead to them failing the test, and we don't want students to fail the test. It's going to take more work. It is, takes longer, requires more hard work, but you do need to have a deeper understanding of all of these different things and to practice it and get feedback on it and really know what you're doing, because you can't trick the test. You're not going to trick the examiner by using a structure that you're really good at writing in English. Also remember, grammar and vocabulary, 50% of your total score. So if any teacher or school says to you, use our structures and you'll get a band 9, ask them, well, how does your structure teach you about these things or these things? How does it make me a better writer? How does it give me a deep understanding of what to do? They will not have an answer. And if they do have an answer, I'd love to hear it. The fourth thing is, and this is really, really, really important, because this will permeate throughout everything you do. If you think that structures are some sort of magic solution, they are not magic, all right? If you think that they are magic and they're suddenly going to transform you, you will constantly be looking for hacks, tricks, cheats, tips, and shortcuts. So you, for example, instead of learning vocabulary properly, you'll look for a list of vocabulary. Instead of using grammar structures properly and learning grammar properly, you'll look for just a list of grammar structures to memorize. Instead of understanding how to understand the question and create good answers and develop those answers, you'll just try and memorize some essays. What you'll be doing is you'll always be looking for hacks and tips, and what will happen is you will fail the test again and again and again and again. We did this video on Facebook today and we looked at the comments, and all the comments were, please just give us the easy way to answer these questions. Please just give us the easy way to structure our essay. There is no easy way, all right? Anyone, I believe, can get the scores that they need. I believe that anyone who puts their mind to it and puts in the work will get the scores that they need. But no one will ever get the scores they need by doing hacks and tricks and cheats and all of those different things. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it. As I say, structures are useful. We give all our VIP students structures and they love them and they help them with their preparation. But we don't just give them structures and tell them, use these and you'll get the score that you need. We give them a very deep understanding of what they need to do. We show them exactly what the examiners want and allow them to understand that and give the examiners what they want on test day. Structures alone are not going to help you, but if you understand what you're doing on a deeper level, they will help you. So that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, the red light on my camera is flashing and this is a live video, so we can't just cut and edit it. So I'm going to have to go. I won't answer any of the live questions because the camera will just cut out. But what I'll do is immediately after this video, the video will go up. So just look at our channel and pop a comment below the video and I'll answer your question. I'll just type the answer to your question after that. Apologies for that, but literally the red light on the camera is about to go and the battery is about to die. It's my fault. I forgot to charge it over the weekend. If you need any help, if you have questions, IELTSadvantage.com is our free site where you'll find lots of free information. That'll answer most of your questions. If you have a specific question and you want my help with it, comment below the video or send me an email, chris@IELTSadvantage.com. I have to go. Sorry, normally I do answer questions when I'm doing one of these live videos, but the battery is about to go and I don't want to mess up the whole video. Thank you very much guys. If you've enjoyed this video, it's totally free. All we ask for is for you to subscribe or like the video. If you subscribe, you'll get all our further videos. The next video will be on Wednesday. Thank you very much guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.